Hello everybody, this is Mark Hutten with myaspergerschild.com, and today I want to talk to parents who have a child with Asperger's or high-functioning autism, and the child also exhibits oppositional or defiant behavior. What I have found in working with families over the years is that parents tend to make 4 very crucial mistakes in dealing with oppositional behavior in the Asperger's child. Expressing anger toward the child, trying not to rock the boat, setting arbitrary rules, and taking the child's behavior personally. Let's look at each of these in turn. Expressing anger toward the child. Oppositional children and teens are often upset, frustrated, looking to externalize blame, and operating under the assumption that they are equal in authority and wisdom to their parents. This results in being upset in their interaction with their peers and with anybody in authority, like their poor, long-suffering mother or father. Now, when parents resort to expressing anger toward the child, and this could be in the form of yelling, lecturing, threatening, and so on, oppositional kids are often able to manipulate that situation and turn the focus off of their behavior and onto the parent's anger. This in turn often sets up a power struggle, and whenever parents involve themselves in a power struggle with their oppositional child, the child always wins. So, cardinal rule number 1 in dealing with Asperger's children who are also oppositional would be to never express anger toward the child. That's not to say you can't set limits. That's not to say you can't have rules. But you don't want to be visibly showing anger towards the child. Because if he or she sees that you're angry, he knows that he's winning. He knows all he has to do is keep pushing your buttons, and you will stay in a state of frustration, which ensures that the focus will be off of him and onto your frustration and anger. Trying not to rock the boat. Most moms and dads of oppositional kids have come to the point where they're literally afraid to set definite and definitive limits. The reason being is they have set some limits, they've had some rules, they've tried to follow through with the consequence, which just made a bad problem worse. So now the parent adopts the philosophy that I can't issue a consequence to my child because when I do, he or she has a meltdown or a shutdown or a major temper tantrum and chaos results. So the well-intentioned parent begins to have fewer and fewer limits, issue fewer and fewer consequences in order to keep the peace. So cardinal rule number 2 is, it's certainly okay to have rules and have consequences, but you have to go about it in a way that doesn't throw gas on the fire. And we'll talk about that in subsequent videos. Setting arbitrary rules and taking the child's behavior personally. Parents who are very rule-oriented or rigid are more apt to set up a monumental power struggle with their oppositional child. When they also often take the youngster's behavior personally, seeing his negativity as aimed directly at them instead of as an attempt to organize his world, the situation is compounded. He's just doing that to make me upset, such parents often tell me. Now, there's nothing wrong with having rules and standards of conduct for your child, of course, but too many arbitrary rules and regulations often drive an oppositional child into doing precisely the opposite of what you are asking or telling him to do. Hence the name oppositional. So cardinal rule number 3 is make your rules very specific, put them in writing rather than having arbitrary rules. And cardinal rule number 4, do not take your child's behavior personally. Even though you may experience situations where your child is insulting and putting you down and being critical of you, 90% of the time, the motivation behind the child's behavior has to do with him simply wanting to have his way, rather than having an interest in attacking your personality. For more information on how to deal with children on the autism spectrum who are also experiencing oppositional behavior, please go to myaspergerschild.com.